It turned out that the transmitter in the lab was functional at the time it was destroyed. A signal was sent to the quadrant RK-404 on the third satellite orbit. An old space colony is being disassembled in that sector. Investigate the area and find the other transmitter. Find out who the signal was sent for.
Understood. We're already on our way. Show, hurry it up.
Okay, I got it.
Reed, engage the engines.
Engines engaged.
Radar is clear. All systems are green.
Navigation set. All systems go.
Okay, we're all set to go.
Burning chip, prepare for launch.
This is Quadrant T119, Sector RK-404. Crews are working on Firebird. Can you hear me? That's strange. There's no response.
What's the point of waiting here? Let's go investigate.
Let's do this.
Okay. Reed and Tillis, I want you two to enter from the main dock. Big and Show, enter from the starboard port.
Roger!
Greetings, I'm Solidus-Skully, and welcome back to the Burning Ranges commentary. This time we're on to Mission 3, the Space Colony, called Ark. And you might be beginning to see a few design similarities, well, to a certain extent, sort of. Mainly in some of the hallways here. But yeah, as you can tell, this is where some of the more Sonic Adventure 2 similarities really begin to rear their ugly head, as we are aboard a space colony that's under attack from a meteor storm.
This is the computer control room.
And, well, again, there are a few bits of visual distinction between this and the space colony Ark from Adventure 2 and Shadow the Hedgehog, but it does bear a lot of very similar coloration, very similar design ethos, and, well, even a few similar set pieces if you keep your eyes peeled. But, I'll point them out as we go along, so I guess you don't have to keep your eyes peeled. 'Cause I'm here. Me. But yeah, in terms of very level-specific hazards this time, well, as I believe you should be seeing around here? Oh no, maybe a bit later. But yeah, basically, bits of the space station will begin to come apart, and basically you'll be sucked out of an airlock. Which here basically requires you to use your little thruster pack to boost away. Which is a set piece that was also borrowed in Sonic Adventure 2 with, well, admittedly more of a player hazard, really, because again, you did kind of need to lock onto the detonation packs that clung onto bits of the colony, so you can maximize your score output as Tails and Eggman, but yeah, the point is that basically you'll get sucked into space, and Tillis needs to avoid that because, well, she's not invincible, and as such cannot avoid getting choked to death, or loss of air, vacuum, space pressure, thing, science, word mouth fail, black. Oh, and by the way, look out for some of the names on the bottom of the screen. Like, depending on what area you're in, you'll get a few specific names. Like, I mean, you'll have a Spring Valley Lobby, or Green Hills Lounge. All of which are callbacks to Sonic Team games of the past. Except for Maintenance S1, that's not exactly a reference to anything. But yeah, you'll get sucked out for a little bit, and yeah, that's pretty much all I was talking about.
A door has been activated. Come back.
Yes, thank you. Well, it's not as if we didn't know that for ourselves, Chris.
Doesn't look like anyone's here. There's only one escape pod left.
But, yeah, a lot more story context starts to go down here, and as well as where the game's stakes really begin to kind of maximize a little bit. Like, I mean, I said before that we don't really have any overarching villain or antagonist, but, this level and the one coming up next is pretty much the ones that delivers it the most.
It's dangerous here. You'll have to stop your work.
What? You think you can just come in here and tell us what to do? We can't stop dismantling just because a small meteorite hit the colony.
Just a meteorite. Tillis, leave this one to me, and go rescue the workers.
Okay, leave the rescue to me, big guy.
And speaking of Sega references, actually, you do get a little bit more in terms of, one of the more obscure references. I believe one of the first people to rescue, actually, is a reference to, Opa Opa, which is like a Master System... how can I put this for people who don't know? The one about the spaceship from Sega All-Stars Racing. Good lord, that was fucking scary. Yeah, again, unlike the water park that had its own distinctive robots, this one also has its own different sorts of robots. And I swear to god, this looks like the design that they eventually based the, like the drill mech that eventually terrorized Eggman in Cosmic Wall in Adventure 2. I don't know, might have been a partial inspiration or might have been the thing they based it on, but... Again, much like the same robot you faced off in the water park, you basically gotta just push it back with your pulse laser until you can settle things down here. Frozen Bill Square. I don't know if this is a reference to anything, it might be a reference to like Rice Store or something maybe. I don't know, maybe like a cut stage or maybe Christmas nights perhaps? I don't know, I never played Christmas Nights. I only have experience with the OG game. But anyway, this also gives you a lot of, you know, fires to extinguish. So again, like, taking care of the limit meter shouldn't be a problem, although you do have to dodge out of the way out of a lot of broken debris and stuff. And again, it also increases the, you know, variances in the amount of fires you put out. But in terms of anything else, and because I can't compliment this game's visual style enough, I do actually quite like the sense of scale we have here. Like, I don't know, this really sells the vibe of a space station to me. And I mean, obviously given the art design, but again, like the way they were able to render all that in the Sega Saturn, you know, with the vastness of space, it's, again, it's like, it's inspiring, man. Like, I mean, it really kind of goes to show what the Sega Saturn's hardware was capable of if people were willing to play ball with it, but I don't know. Sadly, it was not meant to be.
Find another route then. Remember, don't just rush into things.
And again, yet another example of Burning Rangers having a very lively game world even through the radio.
I'm here to save you. Hold
And of course, there's our Opa Opa reference. I mean, obviously, for the guy's perspective, it's meant to just be a helmet, but, yeah.
You can count on me.
I have no idea why the Master System had a mascot based on a fucking spaceship of all things, but hey, who knows? His name is actually Luke Scala, and he's a really nice guy. I met up with him for drinks once, and we had a really nice time. No idea why I'm talking like this.
Unless you have an ID card.
But, yeah, onwards and upwards to find more ID cards and exploring around for survivors. Oh yeah. And I've pretty much run through all the basics of Burning Rangers, most about the gameplay, mostly about the lore and potential. Now, what do we have left to talk about? Well, I suppose there is one thing, actually, and something that I think, honestly, could have benefited, I suppose, the, like, the arc levels of Shadow the Hedgehog, actually. An audio navigation system. That, excuse me. Again, those levels did give you a map, but again, like, I mean, given how labyrinthian some of these levels are, kinda makes me wonder why Shadow the Hedgehog never had an audio navigation system, which was perfectly viable since you had both Maria and Black Doom pretty much accompanying you, so, yeah, point goes to Burning Rangers. And again, I don't bring up Shadow the Hedgehog just idly either, or just for lack of things to talk about. Or so you think. Doo-doo-doo. But on a serious note though, like, I mean, there are actually a lot of elements of Shadow's game that actually does kind of make me wonder if maybe some of the scrapped concepts of a Burning Rangers 2 was intended to go to Shadow the Hedgehog, because in Shadow the Hedgehog you can actually extinguish fires, which increases your hero meter, which again you can use to pull off chaos control and shit like that. Again, you can use like a variety of weapons, there's an excessive focus on firearms, again you have plenty of heal capsules that you can use to heal gun soldiers or people around, so I'm having to wonder, was part of Shadow the Hedgehog's structure taken from, like, a Lost Burning Rangers sequel? Because, I mean, I don't know, like, I mean, he has the hover boots, he's got, like, the very big action focus, and the fact that a lot of Shadow's game design seems to be more third-person shooter than traditional Sonic game kinda makes me wonder, because, like, I mean, if a third-person shooter structure was more focused on rather than the traditional Sonic elements, did we lose out on a Burning Rangers 2 because of Shadow the Hedgehog? And if so, well, while I'm sure most of the world probably would have preferred the Burning Rangers 2, I am very conflicted on that. I admit some fondness for Shadow's game, but I mean, if that means we lost to Burning Rangers 2, I'm kinda saddened by that. But I mean, bear in mind though, this is just purely my speculation, but again, there are a lot of elements and similarities that I just can't help but notice now, and really, I mean, to be honest, I don't know how to feel. Sorry, was that a little bit too melancholy for you? Well, it's time to bring up the comedy. Honk honk. And a Firebird Cafe. No idea what that's a reference to, but hey, this place seems to be less Firebird and more fire. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I've never actually been sucked out of an airlock before. Well, okay, that came out a little bit wrong. I've never been sucked out of an airlock in Burning Rangers before. Well, again, I say that, but I haven't been sucked out of an airlock in real life either, because I can imagine that would be pretty painful. But, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's pretty much just a life lost. And again, like, another reason for rescuing survivors, of course, again, like, I mean, as is typical with this game, you don't have a live system, but you do have continues, so I guess it is pretty much a live system in that respect, so, oops. But I mean, regardless of such, like, I mean, again, you do get continues, so it's very arcadey in its setup and, you know, the way in which it handles you dying and restarting stages and all that. But by that same volition, though, like, I mean, you shouldn't have too much trouble with burning ranges, I don't think. Well, at least if you learn to pick it up for yourself. I suppose another thing to talk about is also in terms of navigation. Like, I mean, I think while environments here might be looking a little bit samey to some extent, there are still enough distinctive set pieces enough for you to navigate on your own, but even in that case, this is also the area where Chris's calculations come in really handy. Because again, like, I mean, given the way the area is structured, it's done in a way where she can quite easily help you, and unlike the aquarium level, you're not quite going through as many nooks and crannies to really, you know, confuse her, or even confuse yourself, really. It's very much a standard sort of layout, but very beautiful to look at with a lot of distinctive areas, so yeah, make of that what you will. There we go! Anyway, onwards and upwards. You know, I'm starting to think that maybe some of these were only given, Sega games, unless Harborside is like a reference to, like, I don't know, Rad Racer or something? I have no idea. Or Daytona, I think? Yeah, that would have been out by this point. Whatever, I'm just rambling. This level does actually begin to pick up, though. I mean, I know, you know what might sound like I'm just struggling for things to say, but I mean, really, we've basically been doing the same sort of thing since Mission 1, and again, like, I mean, this level does start out deceptively simple, like yet another day in the life of a burning ranger, but things will eventually begin to pick up, so yeah. Twin Seed. I think that might be a reference to Knights, actually. In fact, I think it actually might have even been a bit of a callback in Balan Wonderworld for one of the first levels of that game. Yeah, well, again, I guess for fuck all of anything else to talk about, I have actually played a Balan Wonderworld, or at the very least the demo of it, which I thought was a little bit pish, and I will admit I have been kind of tempted to pick up the game. I know a lot of people have given it the whole worst game ever, what were they thinking? Kind of spiel reviews back when it came out, but I don't know, I've been tempted to give it a fairer shot, at least compared to the demo, because, like, I mean, it was nothing special, but at the same time, I don't think it was really worth a lot of the, internet bashing hyperbole that it got. I don't know. Just kind of goes to show where the internet hive mind and, your own thoughts and feelings can really differ in regards to stuff like this. Away, get away, get away, get away. Thank God we... Actually, it does kind of make me wonder, actually, what exactly is the pulse laser made out of? I suppose it's some sort of energy suppressant, but, I'm kind of curious, actually, like, in what way this advances over, you know, traditional fire extinguishers or anything else of the sort that we have today. I guess maybe there's some sort of, like, chemical component in the laser that starves it of oxygen, perhaps?
Chris, I found a stowaway!
Oh my. Aren't you, Mel? What are you doing here?
I was hiding with my brother. He said he was going to look at the meteorite, and he hasn't come back yet.
All rangers, look for the boy immediately.
Roger.
Oh no, now we have to find the kids. Ba-na-na-na-na. Well, in this case, we really have to find Neil. Yes, we will never see Mel in the flesh. And also to do with an upcoming cutscene that I won't have time to talk over, I believe it's meant to imply that the man who Big was talking with earlier was meant to be their father? Because, I mean, later on when Tillis finds Neil, like, she mentions that he would, like, he, specifically, would be disappointed if he didn't come back, so, yeah, I guess maybe the kids stowed away with their dad, in terms of anything else, and that's how they got aboard the ship, but... I don't know, quite odd, like, I mean, I don't seem to recall stowing away at my dad's work, but... who knows? Yeah, by the way, the floating controls, it's... well, basically like, cool, I am swimming in the air! Whatever. I don't know. It's really cool, and again, much in the same way as Mission 2 with the swimming, this pretty much gives you the anti-grav stuff, which is fun and really free-flowing and fancy-free.
Okay, you be careful.
And, yeah, I think this is also one of the few times where the limit going overboard a little bit doesn't really affect you too badly, because you're about to get to a very level-specific segment, because otherwise I think you might be dealing with a lot more explosions. Although I think that's only if you make it to this point before you get to where Neil is located, which is right behind you. Well, right behind you, relatively speaking, by which I mean going up a level and through there. You see, I do know what I'm talking about sometimes. When the moon is full and the solstice is, solstice-y? Whatever. Enjoy the cutscene.
I found the boy! We'll be okay.
Who are you?
I'm a Burning Ranger. I'm here to help you.
Wow! You're a Burning Ranger, right? You're really a Burning Ranger!
Yes, and I'll give you an autograph later. Chris, I'll transport him. Set coordinates.
Negative. The magnetic storm is jamming our systems. We can't transport him from here.
Find the escape pod. There should be one nearby.
Come on, let's go! I'm Tillis.
I'm Neil. Do you have a boyfriend?
My, you're a slick one, eh? You remind me of someone.
For the love of God, take your time. Also, was Tillis referring to Sho right over there? Didn't really show signs of being him particularly, like, pervy or anything, but then again, maybe that's just periphery material that got lost in the translation, but, whatever.
Close your eyes if you get scared.
Tillis, such a good character. I don't know, it's really good, but anyway, on that note, I am Solidus-Skully, keep it new metal, and, here comes some drama. Catch you later.
This must be the escape pod. Hurry, get on!
Tillis, there's only room for one person. What are we gonna do?
You're going to get in, of course.
What about you, Tillis?
I'll find another escape pod.
I don't want to leave you.
Be brave. He's waiting for you to come back. You don't want him to worry any more than he has to, right?
Tillis, you have to promise me you'll come back and give me your autograph.
I promise.
I'll be waiting for you. I'll be waiting till you come back.
What have I gotten myself into? I can't break my promise with him.